You ever catch yourself watching a man walk into a room and just feel something shift? Not because he's rich, not because he's tall or jacked or wearing a watch that costs more than your car. Something else, something quieter. And most guys spend their whole lives chasing the wrong version of that thing, when the real version was sitting right there the entire time, waiting for them to notice it. Before we go further, if this kind of talk actually does something for you, hit subscribe, because I'm about to break down something most men never figure out, not even by 50. And I want to know something too. Where are you watching this from right now? Drop your city below. I read everyone. Here's the truth nobody tells you. A woman doesn't decide how she feels about you with her mind first. Her body decides before her brain even catches up. It happens in seconds, sometimes less. And it has nothing to do with your job title, your bank balance, or the story you were about to tell her about that time you closed a big deal. It comes from somewhere older than all of that. Every person walking around has a built-in alarm system, running quietly in the background, scanning everyone they meet. And when a woman meets you, hers is asking questions she'll never say out loud. Can I actually relax around this guy? Is he steady, or is he wound up tight? Does something about him feel off, or does being near him feel easy? She's not doing math. She's not weighing pros and cons. Her body just knows. And this is exactly where most men lose the game before it even starts. They're rehearsing the perfect line while she's already decided how safe she feels standing next to them. This goes back further than dating, further than attraction even. Long before humans worried about love, they worried about survival. Reading danger versus safety in half a second used to keep people alive. That wiring never left us. It's still running underneath every first conversation, every first date, every "So, what do you do?" Her system isn't asking if you're impressive. It's asking if you're calm, if you respect space, if you feel real. And that's the whole secret hiding in plain sight. This quality that makes a woman exhale around you isn't one trick. It's three things: working together, how you move, how you look at her, and how you handle the quiet. Stack those three, and you've built something most men chase for years without ever understanding why it works. Start with movement. Watch how most men carry themselves, rushed, jumpy, like they're afraid the moment's going to slip away if they don't grab it fast enough. They talk too quickly. They fill every silence like it's a fire that needs putting out. And here's the part that stings. Rushing doesn't read as excitement. It reads as stress. Even a genuinely good guy can make someone anxious just by radiating that hurried, grasping energy. She might not know why she feels a little on edge, but her body clocks it instantly. Slowing down isn't about going flat or acting like nothing excites you. It's about moving like you meant it. Every gesture deliberate. Every step like you're standing on ground that belongs to you. That's the message underneath it all. I'm not begging for your attention. I'm not auditioning. I'm just here, and I'm fine either way. Think about the people in your life who make you feel instantly at ease. They never seem rushed. They let a pause sit there without panicking. That stillness is doing more work than any clever opening line ever could, because it tells her nervous system, loud and clear, "You don't have to perform for me here." Then comes the way you look at her, and this is where almost every man overcorrects in one direction or the other. Either the stare that's trying too hard to seem intense, or the eyes down thing because eye contact feels like too much exposure. Neither works. What actually lands is somewhere in between, not looking at her hoping for a reaction, but looking at her because you're genuinely present with her, in that exact moment, no angle attached. That difference is everything. Look at someone hoping they'll like you, and they'll feel the need underneath it, no matter how smooth your delivery is. But look at someone because you're actually curious about who they are. That reads as respect, not hunger. She stops feeling evaluated and starts feeling seen. And being truly seen is rare enough now that it hits differently than it used to. Everyone's half present, scrolling, distracted, waiting for their turn to talk. A steady, warm look that says, "I'm actually here with you," is worth more than anything you could say. And then, the part that scares almost every man alive: silence. Real silence. Not the awkward kind where everyone's scrambling for a new topic, but the kind that just sits there, comfortable, like a blanket instead of a threat. Most guys treat any gap in conversation like a five-alarm emergency. The second it goes quiet, they panic and start throwing out random questions just to fill the space. But that panic is exactly what makes silence feel awkward in the first place. Comfortable silence means something completely different. It means two people don't need a performance running at all times to feel okay being near each other. Think about your closest friend. You don't fill every second with words. You just exist in the same space and it feels good. That's the same comfort you're building here. And in a world that's loud constantly, phones buzzing, notifications, noise everywhere, a man who's genuinely okay with quiet stands out immediately. It says something powerful. This guy isn't anxious, isn't performing, likes himself enough that he doesn't need to fill every gap to feel worthy of being there. Put all three together, the unhurried movement, the steady look, the ease with silence, and something shifts in her, almost without her realizing why. Her guard starts coming down. And that's not a coincidence, that's biology. A calm presence signals safety, and safety is the doorway everything else walks through. You'll start noticing it in small ways. She leans in a little. Her voice softens. She holds eye contact a beat longer than she needs to. None of that is something you can force. It only shows up when the walls are actually coming down on their own. But here's the one thing that makes or breaks all of this. None of it works as a trick. The second you turn any of this into a strategy to manipulate someone, the whole thing collapses. Because people can feel manufactured calm just as easily as they can feel manufactured confidence. Move slow because you actually feel grounded. Look at her with real interest because you actually are interested. Sit in silence because you're actually comfortable in your own skin, not because some video told you to count to 5 before responding. When it's real, this stuff stops being a technique and just becomes who you are. And the guys who leave the deepest impression aren't the loudest ones in the room, or the ones flexing the most. They're the ones who make everyone around them feel like they can finally exhale. So here's my question for you. Out of the three, which one's hardest? Slowing down, the look, or sitting in the silence without flinching? Tell me in the comments, I actually want to know. Because at the end of the day, this was never about becoming someone else. It's about finally getting comfortable being the version of you that was already enough.